Thanks for checking out another clip of the Cashflow Contractor. We'd love to have you as a part of our audience. Click subscribe wherever you get your podcast.
Why do we get unfocused or distracted on projects? Why does that happen?
That's a good question, because the answers tells you what you need to work on to correct.
Yeah.
But I notice it in myself and in every client at some time, and in a lot of clients all the time. And that's that their minds are thinking about all the things that they have to do, whether it's marketing or cash flow or finishing a bid or hiring somebody or training or setting up processes, just all these things you need to do. And so they're working on something and thinking about something else, which is real common. And by that, they're not getting the best anywhere. So I think that it takes, because you've introduced over the past few weeks the idea of tactics, takes a tactical move, right? A focus, as you're calling it. Say, okay, when we're looking, if we're looking at everything, we're not doing any particular thing well. That's just a natural fact. Same as gravity, and it's just a fact. So what do? Let's undo that. And I think that's what we want to talk about today, is how to focus on something that makes a matter, and then know whether we succeeded or didn't succeed. And if we didn't succeed, or if we did, what did we do right or what did we do wrong? And then do it again, one at a time. Pay attention.
Yeah, I think with the most common thing I see, even for myself, distracting people, is that whenever you get into a project, you want to have everything perfect. Perfectionism is basically at the heart of that. Of everything is documented, everything is clear, and then if it's not there, you get distracted by trying to create the system. That's if you're a perfectionist, probably like me. Then the other thing that gets in the way is getting stuck in the same routine, especially if you're in the death spiral, like we've talked about in previous episodes, where you need this job to fund the previous job and all these different things. You're distracted because you're not able to focus because the margin on the last job wasn't right. And so now you've got to get a deposit from this customer to finish out that job. And it's a death spiral. And so it takes a serious effort to let go of the routine, to lift your head up instead of being just down and running from thing to thing. Say, hey, what needs to happen to get this exactly right? So that's what we'll talk about today. So let's just jump straight in for our listeners. So the first thing that we want to talk about is project scope. That is the first thing. Why is that the first thing?
Well, first step in a tactical move, I think what maybe we need to say at this point too, is that one of the ideas is to take a project, a job, a bid.
Yeah, we're just doing one.
We're doing one, right?
Don't worry about doing multiple.
Forget the fact that your marketing people told you your website's no good or whatever. Just forget all that. We're going to look at that job, and we're going to make sure that we did what we thought we were going to do. So that begins, as you say, with the scope. If we expect our folks or ourselves to do something, we have to know what it is we want them to do, right?
Yeah.
So it's fair enough that for a job, the folks who have to do it need to know the scope. I mean, you would think that goes without saying, but a lot of times it just goes without.
Yeah.
Go put that pavement in. Well, are we doing the fence or just the? Oh, I don't know. Go build that pool. Well, what's it supposed to look like? Well, kind of like, anyway.
Is there a sprinkler system?
It starts with scope because you have to understand what it is we're trying to do. And that would be in a properly displayed or described scope of the work. And all the guys need to know it, right? Guys and gals.
Well, the customer needs to know it. You need to be very, very clear. I think the best way that I think about it is, how does the customer win and how do we win, right? And then you can ask, what are we agreeing to with the customer? If you can answer all those questions, you can really get to a great scope. But understanding that we both want to win. This is not like we're trying to screw over the customer, and it's not like they're trying to screw over us. How can we mutually win in this project? And if we define that very clearly about, hey, we've got to meet this amount, right? And we've got to finish in this time, and we've got to start by this time, and we've got to have these things available to us. And then they're clear, and this is exactly how we want it to look. This is our goal for the project. If you can do all those things and really line those out and define them, then you're going to have a very clear
Right.
scope.
Everybody needs to understand what is expected.
Yeah. Well, and I think a lot of times this can be a siloed information sometimes, where the project scope gets to 1-2 people on the team, but it's not communicated thoroughly enough to everyone on the team where anybody could define the scope, right? And so really communicating that, we'll talk more about project communication in a little bit. Let's move on to the project bid. So we talk about this a lot. We talk about pricing. What needs to happen on the project bid to have the perfect project?
Well, the bid is part of the scope, of course, revenue versus cost, and then profitability. But I think we split the bid out a little bit because separately from scope, because the guys who are doing the job need to understand what the bid is. Sometimes people are reluctant to tell, to talk numbers with guys. Well, they are responsible for hitting the numbers. They're the ones out there doing it. And they're responsible for the score, if you will. They have to know how the score is kept, and they have to know what the score is. And otherwise you're asking them, they're acting in the dark. They don't know how many man hours they're supposed to do. It's all pays the same. So that's a really important thing, is that the guys, they don't even necessarily need to know, hey, this was a $400,000 job, but they do need to know that you can tell them what the material bid was and what their what the total labor bid was on the deal, and that they can understand whether they're within that scope or not. But they have to have some idea. Yeah, they have to have a target.
Thanks for checking out a clip from the Cashflow Contractor. We have full episodes where we go deep on topics that help you grow a construction business that runs without you, so you can have less stress, more time, more money. Now, we've got other videos, other clips, but if you want to check out the full episode for this clip, you can click wherever our editor put it. It might be here, it might be there, it might be over my face, I don't know. But thank you for checking us out. We'd love to have you as a part of our audience. So subscribe or check out a full episode wherever you get podcasts.